So we'll look at Rev's, because Rev may touch on it. He may actually touch on what legal mindset talks about. So let's take a look at Rev's video. And this one is focusing on CaseyTron. Okay, Desdar, have a wonderful night. This one I think will focus on CaseyTron. And probably, who knows, it may talk about her faked defense, perhaps. We shall see. We shall see what's going to happen. So, let's see how the dumbest of the bunch is working here.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So yes, 3 videos in a row about the Ethan Klein lawsuits. I know, I'm obsessed, but so are you guys, because I know you enjoy the coverage, and today is going to contain a hilarious update as to what's going on with this entire situation. Now, for the uninitiated and probably gainfully employed who don't know what's going on here, this is a quick summation to give you context. So basically, Ethan Klein came out with this video announcing he's launched 3 lawsuits against content creators who were essentially not reacting to his content nuke on Hasan Piker, where at many points they left the room and let the video keep playing, and most importantly, they very vocally shared their intent behind what they were doing, acting as a market replacement for his video, basically promoting their streams as a replacement for his video. If people wanted to see his video, they could watch their streams instead, and now he's suing them for copyright infringement.
Point of note, not only could they pay them, they specifically marketed their stream when they were watching his video as specifically a means to not give Ethan views. They specifically marketed their streams for this. That is a key distinction. Because I do think he still could have sued them even if they didn't go that route. But because they actually marketed the streams and put out social media commentary saying, you know, if you want to ethically watch his video, i.e. not actually watch it on his YouTube channel, but watch my stream instead, so that way you are not giving him views and therefore not giving him money, then come join my stream. And while I still think he could have sued them even if they did not say that, I think if they had not said that, it might have helped their case at least a little bit. At least a little bit. But they didn't. And they actually full-on marketed it as a way to basically fuck Ethan over, but give me money while you're at it, and then, well, thus they dove headfirst into that fucking trap.
And the subjects of these lawsuits
I heard about that too, Andrea.
By the name of Denims, Frogan, and of course, not to be forgotten, CaseyTron.
Ruck, to your question, I believe it does. I have not looked at TOS in specific regarding that. So I believe there is something in the Twitch TOS that would preclude anyone from just blanket watching other content and not facilitating transformativeness to it, such as with the React. I do believe that there is something in the Twitch TOS, and we've talked about that. We have indeed talked about that previously. I think it was yesterday we talked about that. But you notice none of them have caught a ban from Twitch. Not one of them. Even though they did a gross violation of the TOS. Oh, I forgot to do that. But thank you, Outlaw Josie Wales. Yes, I forgot to turn the alerts off. I fixed that now. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, well, I mean, Kick is a bit lax with it because I'm pretty sure XQC does that fairly frequently. So, I don't know for sure. Maybe Kick might be a little bit lax with it. But with Twitch, the TOS is front and center because of the way Twitch has been blatantly enforcing their TOS as of late in an extremely skewed fashion, where they will not inflict TOS punishments against Hasan, Frogan, Denims, and CaseyTron because they all follow the correct ideology, i.e., they all support Palestine and Muslim-based countries, and they want the extermination of Israel because Twitch supports that like-mindedness, they don't exercise their TOS on them. However, if you are a VTuber and you show a bare hip, down with the bitch. So that's kind of the ever-loving point, is if you want to be flexible in the administration of your TOS, I get that. I'm not saying you cannot be flexible in the enforcement of your TOS, but when you're quote unquote flexible in the way Twitch has been, that's not flexibility. That's outright favoritism, and it's discriminatory as all fuck. And there's no sugarcoating it. It's discriminatory as all fuck, and just kind of showcases that Twitch supports the ideology of basically Hasan and everybody within his circle. They support it, they back him up, and they will protect him as much as they possibly can. So, in question of isn't it against TOS? Yes, I believe it is. And isn't it interesting how Twitch has refused to enforce it on these specific content creators time and time again?
Denims, Frogan, and of course, not to be forgotten, CaseyTron. Now, I've said this before, she's kind of the wild card of the Three Stooges here. She is someone I didn't expect to be involved in a potential lawsuit with Ethan Klein, but I welcome it because she is someone who, well, is very bizarre, right? The only thing she's really known for is smoking weed, crying about incels online, and crying about Asmongold, and all of those are kind of interchangeable in their own ways. But in the video that Ethan Klein released, he went over some facts involving CaseyTron and her quote-unquote reaction to his content nuke on Hasan Piker.
Is Pippa following her, or is she following Pippa? Oh, Pippa is following her. And Face Connect is. And is Charlie? No, that can't be Penguin Zero Charlie. But yeah, Pippa's following her. Interesting. Okay.
Tron and her quote-unquote reaction to his content nuke on Hasan Piker, where curiously, she spent more time taking bong rips than actually providing commentary. This is not an exaggeration. This is a fact. She spent more time smoking than actually providing commentary. And this...
And, okay, I'm also going to point out, all right, for these two, so this was part of Ethan's video where he timed the amount of time she spent smoking a bong or smoking from her fucking bag versus her actual commentary. 15 minutes, 40 seconds of commentary, nearly 19 minutes of just blasting her brains out with weed. And leave us not forget, this was an hour and a half video. So for an hour and a half video, an hour and a half YouTube video, she commentated not quite 16 minutes out of an hour and a half she spoke in commentary. That's it. That's not react. That is not a fucking react. Which is why Ethan is suing her, because she did not react.
This is a little small compilation provided in Ethan's video. Hope you enjoy.
To give you an idea, the majority of her commentary comes down to this.
Okay, Demon Shark King, have a good night.
This bit that he's doing.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
Okay, can I just point out how fucking sick this is? Well, okay, I'm not covering her. Good. Watch, she switches from the bag to the pipe. She literally goes from one source of weed directly into another one. Like, with no pause.
Bit that he's doing.
Watch this. She smokes from the bag.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
And then puts the bag down and picks up the pipe.
What the hell
You
is
kids love
going
anime,
on?
right?
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening?
Like,
I'm trying to
Jesus
follow.
fuck.
I've lost the plot.
Oh, I imagine, Ross, you probably will.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know.
No.
Are you being serious?
She's not. She's not fat, man. And that's the funny thing is when Hasan, with the video we watched from Hasan yesterday, she put up like profile pictures of all four of them when he was talking about all three of them. For the three that are getting sued, put up profile pictures of Frogan Denims in Kaceytron. And he put up an older profile picture of Kaceytron where she actually looked very cute. She looked very pretty. She looked very cute. Nothing like how she looks now. And this is what happens when you have a chronic weed problem. Because look at her now. I called it yesterday. She's been rode hard and put away fucking wet. She looks like shit now.
People. I know. Are you being serious?
Yeah, she looks like a crack whore.
Look, you think I made this?
So after hearing the fact that Ethan Klein is going to sue her and has pursued legal options, this was Kaceytron's first reaction on Twitter, where she would say, "Well, I'm suing you too," to an Ethan Klein parody account. She was so ripped out of her mind, she didn't even know that she was arguing with a parody account. This is not Ethan Klein. This is a parody account.
Yeah, because if the icon wasn't obvious enough of a photoshopped Ethan image of him balding and chunked out. Kaceytron, seriously, honey, get off the fucking weed. Seriously, you need to get off the fucking weed, sweetheart. It is rotting your brain. Okay? For anybody that wants to say weed does not rot your brain, weed is not harmful to your brain, I present you Exhibit fucking A right here. All right? Weed has rotted this girl's fucking brain. She needs help. She needs to cut herself off of this shit right now, and she needs to go to fucking rehab. Because the question is, what is she doing when not on stream? Because I'm going to hazard a guess she's doing more than weed off stream at this point.
And after that, she would launch this post alongside her GoFundMe campaign where she said, Ethan KK Klein is going to sue me for smoking too much weed. He is trying to take away my ability to purchase my medically necessary marijuana products. We cannot let this happen. Donate to my weed fund. She...
Hey, CaseyTron? Yes, and I know this is not the correct court of law. CaseyTron, in case you haven't heard, anything can and will be used, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, you dumb bitch. Seriously. And I'm sorry, medically necessary? I want receipts. Okay? I want some fucking receipts that this is, quote, medically necessary, other than the fact that you just like being permanently high off your fucking ass. There is no medically necessary basis for marijuana in existence that requires you to get so obliteratedly baked out of your mind on a daily basis. Medical marijuana, for those that are not aware of it, is something that is used to alleviate pain. You would basically utilize the medicinal marijuana if you are experiencing pain. It is typically used with, I know cancer patients use it, glaucoma is a use for it. Basically, it very frequently helps people that experience chronic pain, or for people, I do believe it also can assist some people with some psychological disorders, such as, I think PTSD might be in there, and acute stress or anxiety disorders, I believe. those are things where marijuana can be medically prescribed. Granted, in many states nowadays, you don't even need that medical prescription to do it to get it anymore. You can just go to any dispensary and get it without a prescription. But in no way, shape, or form has any medical marijuana prescription ever included the phrase, use this to get baked out of your mind all day, every fucking day. When it's medical marijuana, it's you basically smoke a joint or you do like a couple of bong hits to alleviate pain and stop. And yes, Ruff, weed is I believe 100% legal across all provinces in Canada. It is indeed perfectly legal here in Canada. No, I do not partake. I have no interest in partaking in marijuana. And yeah, you can get discounts at the dispensary. Sure, I fully believe that beat. But that's the ever-loving point. Is my medically necessary marijuana is bullshit. And when you're in the next breath saying donate to my weed fund, I'm sorry, you're only harming yourself. You're only just going to make the case against you that much more of a slam fucking dunk by doing this. You are only exemplifying Ethan's case against you when he takes you for everything. And hello, Rimaru. How are you doing? Please don't use your predator skill on me. I beg of you. I don't have any skills you can absorb. Please, I beg of you, don't use it on me, okay?
Tried to basically describe her GoFundMe campaign as a weed fund, and people are seriously donating to this nonsense. But also, she calls him KK Klein. I know Jews are really big in the Klan scene, but this is a big joke. Obviously, that's not true.
Well, and yeah, again, it's CaseyTron is yet another, I know you're shocked by this, CaseyTron is yet another person that is basically destroying the power of the English words in the English language. Once upon a time, saying that someone was a part of the KKK would make someone sit up and take notice and go, holy shit, this is a really bad person. We need to be aware of this. Now, just like Nazi, calling someone KKK literally amounts to, you don't agree with me, you should be canceled. You should be forced to go away because you don't agree with me. That is what this means now. CaseyTron is yet another in a long line of fucking DEI dunderfucks that are actively trying to destroy the power of language. They're trying to remove the power of language now. Nazi doesn't mean anything anymore. KKK doesn't mean anything anymore. You know, it's not... These words that once made people sit up and take notice don't mean anything. Now when someone says, this person's a Nazi, or this person's KKK, the gut reaction is, okay, so they don't agree with you. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Same with calling someone a racist, calling someone a homophobe, calling someone a misogynist, calling someone, an Islamophobe, whatever istophobe. That used to actually mean this person was bad, we should take notice of this because they're actually doing something bad. It means nothing now. It only means that person didn't agree with me. They should be canceled, silenced, and made to go away. That's all it means. It does, like, these words have lost their power. Because of people like CaseyTron, because of people like Dennett, because of people like Hasan, because of people like fucking Frogan. These words have lost any semblance of authority that they once had 20, 30 years ago. Good fucking job, you ass fucks.
And scene, but this is a big joke. Obviously, that's not true. But anyways, you can see the copium and, of course, the GoFundMe, which is about a week
here we go.
into its duration.
We remember this.
And as you can see, she's raised $9,000. That is about 9% of her $100,000 goal for her legal defense. Now, this is a very good time for me to share with you guys a really important campaign that I'm also launching. My own sort of GoFundMe campaign where I'm pleading you guys to help me out here.
At time!
Basically, the cause is, cause I like money.
Squenchy.
Please go ahead and do a super chat donation on this video. Every single one will help keep me well fed, and as a sort of gratuitous response to your very, very charitable donations, I will leave a heart comment on every single super chat dono. That is coming from the heart, ladies and gentlemen. I am doing the best I can. This is a really important cause. Please support me. Thank you. But anyway.
Based Rev. And yeah, Peanut, you're right. I don't know if you were here, but when we were going through all of their GoFundMes, we actually went through CaseyTron, Frogan, and Denim's GoFundMes and looked at how much they raised and the comments that were left on them. You're right. 100,000 will not be enough because this case can potentially get dragged out for a while. Ethan's got the money to do it. They will not. And don't forget, Ethan is going to win. Ethan is going to win this case. And when he wins the case, Denim's, Frogan, and Kaceytron are all going to have to pay Ethan's legal fees. That's what happens in a civil trial. In a civil hearing, if the loser pays the winner's fees.
Seems like she's my next guest. Ethan Klein, you are not the father of Kaceyton's weed addiction.
Oh, you were okay. Yeah, because that's the key point. That's the key point here is that $100,000 is not going to be enough to pay Ethan's lawyers. Because not only do they have to pay their own lawyers, but they're going to end up paying Ethan's lawyers too. Because that's what happens in civil court. When you lose a civil case, you have to pay the winner of that case. You have to pay their legal funds. You have to pay their legal fees and any other fees that are necessary. In addition to paying your own lawyer. So this is not going to work. $100,000 is not going to be out. Frogan is looking for $200,000. That might help. If she can even get it. Statutory word if they are found to be in breach and that work to be 150. Yeah. So what they're asking for, my guess, if I were to hazard a guess, the goals that they are trying to reach, Kaceytron, Denims, and Frogan, the two 100,000s and the one 200,000, my guess is what their plan is they're going to raise that money. They're going to try to raise that money. Let me rephrase. They're going to attempt to raise that money. And if by some miracle they are able to raise that money, I think the lawyers are going to approach Ethan's lawyer and say, if we can keep this out of court, my client is prepared to pay you $100,000. I suspect that may be the route that they are attempting to go right now. I think that's something in my gut is telling me this is not a lawyer goal. It's not a bribe, but it's please give to my settlement fund. And Bruno, I don't either. I don't think Ethan would accept it. I think Ethan would probably say, no, we're actually going to court. This is all going to be coming out in open court. And I do fully think that if they are able to raise this money and they approach Ethan with the money and say, here, can we sell out of the court, that Ethan's going to say, no, game fucking on. I could pay for my lawyers. You guys fucked up and you violated copyright law in the most blatant way. We're going to court. And they're fucked.
Anyways, enough with this GoFundMe. She's obviously failing quite hard. She's never going to make $100,000 on this unless Hasan Piker comes through and basically finishes off the goal for her. But then again, if she does finish that off, it's just more money in the pool for Ethan Klein to collect in his lawsuit. But anyways.
Now, there is a question that I don't have an answer to, and I don't know if anybody does. Are CaseyTron, Denims, and Frogan all going to be co-defendants in a single suit? Or is Ethan actually suing them individually? Because if they are co-defendants in a singular suit, then it may be possible that they can all pool their money towards a single lawyer. And if they were, by some miracle, able to actually raise the money, they could pull the lawyer. You think it looks like it's filed individually? That's why I was wondering, Alistair. I wasn't sure if this was individually filed. If it's individually filed, they're fucked. They're done. They're not going to be able to raise enough money. They will not have the capital to afford a lawyer to be able to go through this, to be able to sustain a lawyer through this legal process. They are fucked, basically. And honestly, I kind of wonder if this is going to be, he's going to basically sue them into bankruptcy and force them off the platform. If he sues them into bankruptcy, they might actually have to leave the platform. They may not be able to stream anymore by the time this is done. It's a possibility. Josie? Yeah, it's a little bit of wishful thinking. You're right. It is a bit of wishful thinking, but there is a possibility of it. If they get sued for everything and they actually have to get a job, they're not going to have time to stream. And I think they may actually have to leave the platform. We'll see, though. I mean, again, this is all a lot of... It should be noted this is a shit ton of speculation right now. We are only at the infancy of this lawsuit. We are speculating real fucking hard. I will fully admit that this is 100% speculation. We're spitballing ideas. We're talking about our hopes and dreams. We have no idea how this is going to play out. Let me make that very, very clear. We have no clue. We realistically don't know how this is going to play out. But we can dream.
For Ethan Klein to collect in his lawsuit, but anyways, basically, CaseyTron is doubling and tripling down on everything. She once again promoted the GoFundMe a few days ago, and she shared this tweet saying, "A short rant. I am so tired. My entire existence on Twitch since I started."
I'm tired, boss. Boss, I'm tired. That's our opening line.
A short rant. I am so tired. My entire existence on Twitch since I started 13 years ago has been incel harassment campaign after incel harassment campaign. Oh, it's the incels. We'll talk more about her obsession with incels later, but anyways, she says, men with much larger audiences than me have sexually harassed, defamed, slandered, swatted my home, cyberstalked, and tried to get me to game end myself for literally a decade through these endeavors.
Okay, hold up. Now, I know nothing about CaseyTron and her stream. Okay? I don't know how much you guys know. I need some confirmation on any of this. That has she been the victim of incel quote unquote, very key thing there, quote unquote, incel harassment campaigns, which I'm going to call bullshit, that men with larger audience than her have sexually harassed her, defamed her, slandered her, swatted her, cyberstalked her, and tried to get her to commit suicide. I want fucking receipts on this one. Okay? Because CaseyTron, you're a fucking drugged up psycho. You're not even a psycho. You're a drugged up, chunky at this point. I do not believe a goddamn thing this girl says. Not one fucking thing. All right? She is just drugged out of her mind 24/7. How do we know she didn't write this when she was high off her fucking ass and it was the weed telling her that this all happened to her? It's like, Zeb, you're probably right. It's like random comments that just called her an idiot or something, and she is absolutely conflating it to a quote harassment campaign. you are probably exactly correct. And I'm sorry, Kaceytron, I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I 100% think you are fucking lying. I don't believe a fucking word you say.
Very few of my peers have supported me. I wonder why.
Ah,
Because
okay,
they
thank you,
don't
Andrew.
want to evoke these same hates. It's been extremely isolating. I've always been thrown to the wolves to fend for myself. Is she gonna say, like, I've been thrown to the wolves and now I'm the pack leader? But yeah, you can see she says people with larger audiences have attacked her in many ways. I mean, Twitter speaking, she has a larger audience than me, so I guess I'm exempt. And also, I know I'm married, but in her world, I'm probably an incel too. But anyways,
Yep.
On Reddit, there is a viral...
The whole incel, I fucking hate the whole incel thing. Like, chat, I will tell you right now, I consider the use of the word incel a slur. Okay? I consider the term incel, when somebody uses incel like this, I consider it a sexual slur. I do. And again, it's being used only to, essentially, it's used in the same way that Nazi and KKK and all the istophobia is. It's used in the exact same way. It is used it is name calling someone that does not agree with you. You cannot defend your opinion in said discussion. When when you say something, someone presents a counter argument and you can't defend it, you are called an incel, which is another word for I hate you because you disagree with me. You should be silenced and never be heard from again. That is what incel is. Okay? That it flat the fuck out. Like incel, I forget how long ago it came on the scene. It's supposed to be categorized as involuntarily celibate, which basically means a guy can't get a date or a guy can't get fucked. And I'm pretty sure it came to being as an insult to begin with, from my understanding. From my understanding, the whole word incel came to be literally as an insult towards guys that weren't able to have sex with a woman for whatever reasons. So it started off as an insult like that. So I'm considering it a slur because it is used in that fashion. Like, that's it. And by the way, using incel in any argument immediately terminates any credibility to your argument whatsoever. I will tell you flat out. If you're chat, I'm going to tell you right now. If you are in a discussion with someone and you are offering counterpoints to their points or their arguments, and they fire back with I would expect to hear that from an incel, discussion's over, you win. I will tell, that's it right there. And I follow that line of thinking myself. I got into it with someone on a Twitter post that I had. They immediately started pulling out the name card shit. You know how I responded on Twitter? I just went, I win, and stopped talking. And I haven't looked back at that, and I haven't looked back at their post since. Because the minute they start pulling out the name calling, it means they can't defend their position anymore, and they're just going to result to third grade behavior. Game over. You win. Flat out.
Her world, I'm probably an incel too. But anyways, on Reddit, there is a viral post sharing her legal defense. Legal scholars are...
They may call guys incels, but notice how they never call them wrong.
Oh, yeah, yes, yeah. Brevin, that's it. Well, that there is the ever-loving point. Is they throw that word out because they can't counter the argument that they've been presented with. So instead, they revert to the incel name calling because they can't defend their position. They can't counteract the facts that were just presented to them. It's a classic.
Flabbergasted by the genius of what she's saying here. Basically, she's saying, I'm so high I forgot I made this video and Ethan Klein is making all this up.
Just because I didn't react to his stupid video, he had to make up that I did and put a video of me smoking weed over his stupid video to get attention. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about your video. Like...
Then why did you watch it on stream, you dumbass? If you didn't give a fuck about his video, then why did you, Denims and Frogan, broadcast that you were watching it on stream? And why did you actually watch it on stream? If you didn't give a fuck about it, you wouldn't have watched it. Your excuse is invalid, you dumb cunt. What else you got?
I don't know. I don't recall reacting to it. I don't believe that I reacted to it.
Because you didn't! Hang on, listen to this again! Listen to this again!
I don't know. I don't recall reacting to it. I don't believe that I reacted to it.
Correct. Because you didn't. You spent 20 minutes of it getting high as a fucking kite, and you spent 15 minutes of it actually reacting to it. You are correct! You didn't react to it! You are correct! And, yeah, if she's trying to... Don't worry, I'm gonna get into the whole VOD thing. If she actually says something, I'm gonna jump into that. Do not worry.
I do not remember. I don't know. I may have been under the influence, but I do not recall reacting to it.
Under the influence. Sweetheart, you are baked out of your fucking mind. Okay? That's not under the influence. You literally turned your brain into Pepperidge Farms. Okay? You are baking cookies and cakes and crackers for like an hour and a half, 2 hours straight. Okay? Jeez. I'm surprised you remember your own fucking name after that shit. I'm surprised you have not lost chunks of your childhood after that bake fest you had on stream.
Acting to it.
So yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen on the internet, but she's doubled down and trying to once again blame the incels with this tweet sharing the related thread saying the incel brigade at it again, trying to villainize me for making a joke. Why is it so hard to imagine a world where women can be intentionally funny?
Where was the joke? Where was the joke in that video? She's saying people are trying to villainize me for making a joke. Where was the joke? I didn't hear a joke in there. What I heard was a desperate attempt to try and, like, put up some form of fucking defense that you claim you can't be sued because you don't remember reacting to it. So so she's trying to do some kind of bullshit, quasi-temporary insanity bullshit thing, which is not going to work because it doesn't qualify and it's civil court, it's not criminal court. Like, I think she literally, with that little video that we just saw, I literally think she was trying to lay groundwork to try and do some kind of, like, quasi-temporary insanity defense. I legitimately think that's what she was trying to do. And now, because people are lambasting her for it, calling her out every fucking which way. No, War Moss, Moss, I'm very aware it's not a defense. That's why I said it doesn't work. Her not remembering that she did this is not a defense. She remembers it. She did, and very much. She remembers it. This is just a fucking excuse. Because, again, even if she didn't remember doing the react, or what she was pretending was a react, what in reality was just an excuse for her to get completely obliterated with weed, why did you delete your VODs? Why did you, if you are trying to come up with the excuse of, I don't even remember reacting to that. Why did you delete all your VODs? Why did you delete all your clips? Yeah. Even if you don't remember, the evidence of said react is there in your VOD. So why'd you delete them? Because you're trying to destroy evidence. That's why. This don't work. You're fucked.
Remember when Live Save Fails wasn't full of incels? Yeah, me neither. 2 incel mentions in one post. That's got to be a record. But yeah,
Which
she's
means
trying to
her
play
post
this off
means
like a
nothing
joke.
and is pointless.
First of all, it's not funny. We're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you because you're so addicted to smoking weed that you don't know what's going on. Like, half the time, you have no idea what's going on whatsoever. And I believe that that clip was unironic.
Absolutely, it was unironic. Absolutely. But, Mad Taz, to your point, where you said, I will actually do a slight adjustment to what you said. If she had basically come out afterwards and said, I was heavily under the influence at the time, and I regret being that heavily under the influence during watching, Ethan's video, and actually said, go and actually watch his video. If she had made even a modicum of effort post-stream to basically say, yeah, I was baked out of my head when I did this, go actually watch Ethan's video if you're interested in it, Ethan might not have actually facilitated the suit against her. But no, she went the exact opposite direction. Sucks to be you. Since she would decide to go the exact opposite direction, play victim, and call Ethan a KKK member, fuck you, bitch. You're getting what's coming to you. Hope it tastes delicious.
Whatsoever. And I believe that that clip was
See,
unironic.
psychotic.
I believe that she has no idea what's going on. She doesn't remember what she does. She's completely out of it all the time. And now she's trying to cope on Twitter and blame incels. It's ridiculous. Now, of course, like I said,
and this will just
calling
add to the
people
lawsuit
incels
evidence.
Is a national pastime for CaseyTron. Just keyword search incel on her account. I'll just scroll for a bit.
Good fucking God.
We're only in, like, March. You get the point. The only thing worse,
Good
or
fucking God.
comparatively worse, is searching Asmongold. Not just Asmongold, by the way. You can also search Asmon, which is a different set of results. But this is just Asmongold. And you can see a double whammy here, where she quotes Asmongold saying, ready for incel tears, referring to Hasan being unbanned on Twitch. Double whammy. But again, just search Asmongold. This is her entire life. Calling people incels and crying about Asmongold and doing that interchangeably.
So, just like Hasan, Asmongold has set up shop rent fucking free in her head. Which should not be a shock because she's within Hasan's circle. Yeah, Asmon's living rent free in her head, and he's having a fucking party. Every day he's having a party.
But anyways, in case you think I'm just a know-nothing who's saying
go.
things out of his
Here we go. Legal
delusional
Mindset's got it.
we have Legal Mindset here, an actual attorney who has weighed in on this situation, providing his thoughts.
Here we go. So he
on
does talk about it.
CaseyTron's brilliant legal defense and what she's up against with this lawsuit.
So copyright focuses on the act of copying and distributing work. So the focus with copyright is, did she copy or distribute work without permission, without consent, without being authorized to do so? And copyright is strict liability, which means mental state is irrelevant. You can do it, you can do it in any mental state, and it doesn't matter. It's strict liability. Did you or did you not do it? So that's one thing. Now, when it comes to damages, like once you've been found liable for this, yes, then there could be a certain amount of maliciousness that factors in there. And certainly the judge might consider that when looking at the damages portion. However, for whether or not you did it, that's strict liability.
And I'm okay. One thing I'm going to say. What Leo Mindset just said. Copyright is strict liability, mental state is irrelevant, although the judge may take mental state into account. I.e., that if the judge makes a decision, the judge may take into account her mental state at the time, i.e., being high as fuck, in terms of awarding damages or anything like that in his or her ruling. Here's the problem. Her entire fucking Twitter feed. The fucking the post that she's just put out recently calling Ethan Klein KKK. And all the other shit she's ever said about Ethan. You don't think that's going to be brought up as evidence before the judge to determine her quote-unquote mindset when it comes to Ethan? No. Yes, it absolutely fucking will be coming up. And the judge will take one look at that and go, yeah, it doesn't matter that you were high, that you're claiming you were high and don't remember doing it. You have a close history of bashing on Ethan and hating Ethan. Plus, you actively chose to delete the evidence of your VODs. You being high is no longer an excuse. It don't fucking fly. Flat out. Because she cannot shut the ever-loving fuck up, she's tanking her case every fucking day with every fucking post. She has fucked herself 10 ways to Tuesday, and it is glorious to behold.
When looking at the damages portion.
And
However, for whether
crime.
or not you did it, that's strict liability. Hey, did you do it or did you not do it? You did it. Whether or not you were high and did it, or drunk and did it, or forgot that you did it because you were too tired, whatever else, that is not an excuse. And once again, it seems like they are confusing copyright, which is civil in nature, with criminal law in general.
So the coping can...
Actually, and you know what, Josie? To your point where you're talking about never interrupt your enemy when they are making a mistake. To your point, I will say, I really wish Ethan would stop posting. Because he's posting clapbacks to other people's posts on like Instagram, whatever. I kind of wish he would stop posting. Like, until the case is resolved, I wish he would go kind of like radio silent in terms of the clapbacks and just let people keep spewing their shit out and creating more substantive evidence for Ethan to collect and feed to his lawyers. If he did not clap back, he would look like the angel in the eyes of the court. But because he's clapping back, it might, granted, it's not going to cause him to lose the case, but it would look even better on his end if people basically were attacking him and he just let the attacks lay and let people just keep coming at him and just archived all of those tweets. Because then, basically, the judge would have a mountain of fucking evidence to substantiate why Ethan's lawsuit should proceed through and why it should be ruled on in his favor. Yeah, Revan, I imagine his lawyer probably is, but Ethan can obviously choose to ignore his lawyer. That's why I'm saying I wish he would just stop. Stop with the clapbacks. Leave it the fuck be until your court case. Once your court case is done, feel free to clap back all you want, but until then, he needs to tone it the fuck down to basically present himself in a more positive light to the court. Because let's not forget, civil court is not criminal court. Criminal court deals very, very much on hard facts. Civil court deals with not only facts, but they also deal in a sense with more nebulous factors. Mentality, social constructs of before and after the events, social media is taken heavily into account with things like with civil cases, because remember, criminal court, the metric to for you to basically win in criminal court, at least from a prosecution standpoint, is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. That is in a criminal case, the prosecutor has to basically present their case of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, whereas the defense has to basically present that reasonable doubt in a way that it overrides the proof beyond reasonable doubt. That is criminal. In civil court, the way the ruling takes place is it falls more into the lines of, it is more likely that this thing or this event happened in this way that is being presented by the attorneys, as opposed to having been presented this way by these attorneys or these lawyers. So the requirements are not as rigid in civil court as they are in criminal court. And so, thus, presenting yourself in a more positive, I'm constantly being attacked light over this light would be far more beneficial to him than to be clapping back at people and just getting into Twitter fights with them. If he presents himself more as a victim in court, it will look more but by people, dogpiling on him on Twitter. Not that he cares, bearing in mind, I realize he doesn't care if he gets dogpiled on Twitter. But if he can present the judge with, look at all this evidence of these people that I'm suing fucking attacking me after I said I'm going to sue them, the judge is going to look at this and go, okay, well, this is something else. Nataz, in terms of it, how it showed that it has impacted him, possibly. The case is a copyright case, so he doesn't need to necessarily show that it has impacted him. This is not a case of slander. This is a case of copyright. So all he has to do is present to the court that these three facilitated copyright theft from him. It's honestly as simple as that. His payout, however, could be determined based upon all the other extenuating factors like social media and the nature. And that's why I'm saying, I wish he would just tamp down on the clapbacks and to allow himself to be more presented in a more positive light when it comes time for the court. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Is civil in nature
exactly.
with criminal law in general.
So the coping continues on Twitter. She recently tweeted this out saying, don't ever let anyone dull your sparkle, little girls. Huh? Even when it's powerful men who get litigious to evoke support from...
Wait, hang on. I have to move. You guys have to watch Rev's reaction to this. Hang on. I want you guys to see Rev's reaction to this, okay? This is the most I'm so fucking done with this bullshit face I have ever seen from Rev. Ever.
Litigious to evoke support from incel communities.
That is the most I'm so fucking done with this bullshit I have ever seen from Rev. That is literally him I'm fucking done. I'm done with this bullshit. And of course, CaseyTron puts up this post I'm a strong, independent woman when she's baked off her fucking ass. Look at this. We were only seeing half the face. I don't know if Rev is going to scroll down. I think he might. She puts this out while she's smoking weed and baked out of her mind.
That love to humiliate women. This isn't about copyright. Big Mama's going through it. Send your energy with this pic.
There we go. We have this. And then this picture accompanying it. Baked out of her fucking mind in the middle of smoking weed. Look at her. This girl needs to get headfirsted into a secure rehab facility. Fucking stat. Okay, CaseyTron? I don't know if you watch my stuff.
That face from Rev just screamed, I can't believe I have to read this idiocy out loud.
Leo, that was a good one. That was a good one. I like the way her voice pitched on that one. That was brilliant. I mean, you're right. That, yeah, like, she is the poster child for rehab. Right now. She is 100% the poster child for this. She needs to get headfirsted into a secure rehab facility. Fucking stat. Okay, CaseyTron, I don't know if you watch my streams. I don't know if you watch my videos. I am telling you, not because I'm being me. I'm telling you because, legitimately, you need fucking help. You need to get help. Badly. You have a very serious problem, and you need help. Okay? Get some fucking help, because you are in a downward fucking spiral. You cannot go through life baked 24 hours a day. You don't have the talent. You're not Snoop Dogg and you're not Willie Nelson. You can't make your career out of getting fucking baked. For God's sake, look at her desk. Look at this. Like, okay, number one, CaseyTron, you look fucking disgusting. You look like a crack whore. You look like a fucking crack whore, CaseyTron. I'm telling you that right now. But look at her fucking desk. Look at the absolute filth that is on her desk right now. Her desk and her keyboard are caked with grime. Absolutely. I'm amazed that keyboard even fucking works. It is so caked with grime. And it even looks like there's missing keys right here. This is fucking disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting that she lives like this. It's fucking she looks nasty, and the environment she lives in looks completely nasty. And by the way, Revan, I will have you know I keep my desk neat and tidy. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're right. The image is flipped.
First of all, clean your keyboard and your desk. This is disgusting. Why would you post this?
Yes, I'll take that brain cell right now. Oh shit, they're not. Oh crap, you're right, they're not. Whoever tried to do a bonk, mods, can you please refund that? I forgot to turn the bonks on. My bad. My bad. I forgot to turn bonks on. That's my fault. Hang on. Okay, the bonk should be on now. Yeah. Why is it every time I say something, Rev follows it right up afterwards in the video? We are one here. We are one. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. And Spider-Man, thank you for the follow on TikTok. And by the way, no, Kendrak, my Scout's fur is not all over my desk. I specifically keep Scout off of my new desk. She may have jumped onto my old desk, but I keep Scout off of my new desk. She is, every time she tries to get on my desk, I get him off. Wait, Revan was saying my desk was cleaner? Wait, hang on. Wait. I thought Revan was... Oh, Okay, you're right. Revan, I'm sorry for the bonk. I could be kissed instead. Mwah. There, does that make it better? I sorry. I misread it. It was a love tap. That's what it was. It was a love tap. I did a tap out of love.
I mean, besides the fact you're smoking a joint and looking completely disheveled and clearly showing everyone that you're very, very unbothered by everything that's happening, this is terrible. But also you can see from the post, she shares this link right here from the very respected news source, Spitfire News, where they have an article about Ethan Klein and his war on women.
For fuck's sake.
Let's read. If you don't know who Ethan Klein is, I'm sorry to be...
Then, White is right. Thank you for the follow.
I want to tell you, Klein is the primary host of the extremely popular H3 podcast, which is one of the most watched podcasts on YouTube every week. I say this all the time. Nobody is a bigger glazer than your haters. The haters will glaze you up more than your supporters ever will. You start off by saying he's successful, he's very, very popular on YouTube. Like, cool it, all right? You're glazing the man up too much. But they continue on saying, for the past few years, as he is engaged...
Mods, if you please. Kick mods, if you please. Show the ass fuck to the door. Since they obviously don't have anything constructive to add to my stream. How cute. Someone thinks insulting me is gonna... Chat. Someone insulted me. Someone insulted me and said I'm a mentally ill degenerate and I should go die in a ditch and that I'm a whore. And God! Chat, I don't know how I'm ever gonna recover from this chat. They wounded me so desperately. Chat, there's only one way I can survive this. Only one way, chat. I need donos, I need bits, I need subs. It's the only way I can survive this. Oh my God.
No.
That's a joke.
Anyway.
Exactly. By the way, that was a joke. About the bit. Damn it, Jack, I was joking. I was joking. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for 5 gifted.
Engaged in a never-ending, largely one-sided feud with his...
But... Sorry, Rhett. What's so funny is Mr. White is right, and I kind of suspected that person was a racist by their name. They just made the stream better. They made the stream better by getting me to laugh and getting me to go through that whole crying thing. Thanks, White is right. Your dumbass just made my stream better. Appreciate it. And Mendez, thank you for the gifted. I am not starting a fucking OnlyFans fatal. Oh, you could thank you. Thank you very much. It's obviously I'm not insulted. Like I said, they only made the stream more fun because I had to laugh about it. Whoa, hold on. Steve, thank you. Thank you so much for the donos, Steve. And Tatuni Boy, thank you for the follow also. No, Vito's not in the chat. No, Sniper. No, I said Sniper. I said Vuka over in the kick chat. That was Vuka over in the kick chat. Not Vito. No. Anyway, let us continue.
You're glazing the man up too much, but they continue on saying, for the past few years, as he is engaged in a never-ending, largely one-sided feud with his former co-host Hasan Piker, the leftist Twitch streamer who has been profiled in the New York Times.
So they are also trying to glaze up Hasan. And Kurai Karasu, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Thank you for the follow also. But they're also trying to glaze up Hasan because they did do the Ethan, which is the most watched podcast on YouTube. And then they said they put Hasan Piker, the leftist Twitch streamer who has been profiled in the New York Times. They had to add that little part in, didn't they? Hi, Beats. Welcome over to Kick, and thank you for the follow.
Klein has also become the most hated than ever before. Well, this last part is really interesting. More hated than ever before. His numbers are up higher than ever with this podcast. And also, is this what it looks like to be hated?
Good moose.
With a brigade of people who don't like him and a very controversial video. This is the response. Is he really more hated than ever? Well, I guess that might be true in some context where, yeah, he's more popular than ever, at least his podcast is. So I guess the more popularity you have, the more haters you have as a total number. But that's a very weird thing to say. And on top of that, like, the one-sided feud with Hasan Piker.
Yeah, I was waiting to see if Reb was going to address that. Hasan goes after Ethan almost as much as he goes after Asmon. Okay? Along with Asmon, Ethan lives rent-fucking-free in Hasan's head. Like, whenever it comes to Hasan espousing off his bullshit and trying to insult people, it's either Asmon or Ethan, along with basically calling, Ethan and Helia, like, specifically Helia, like, calling her a killer. Hasan and Denims and all them, like, love to call Helia a child killer. They love to do that. And yeah, I know, he loves to go after Nux, but he can't actually bring himself to say Nux's name. I'm very aware of that. Yeah, all three of them live rent-fucking-free in his head 24 hours per day. They do. It's fucking hilarious. And honestly, like, Hasan talks about Ethan at least as much as Ethan has talked about Hasan, if not more. If not more. I would wager that Hasan talks about Ethan more. And leave us not fucking forget. Oop, there was my tags again. Leave us not fucking forget that when Hasan was supposed to be debating against Ethan, she wouldn't at first. He had to send a proxy to go debate Ethan first. And all the while, Hasan was watching the debate and was fangirling like fucking crazy. He was basically he was just like yelling and screaming and cheering for his guy to the point that he was like flexing. Like he was if he could have, I think Hasan would have dropped trow and presented ass for the guy that was debating on his half and said, "Give it to me, our daddy, right fucking now, and ride me till the cows come home." Like he had, the 2-centimeter hard on the whole fucking debate and was screaming like a fangirl whenever his guy was presenting something to Ethan. It was hilarious. It was like the cuckoldery that he was presenting was fucking hysterical. So yeah, pretty sure this isn't largely one-sided, Cat Temberge. This is at minimum equal. At best, Hasan it's far more on Hasan's side than Ethan's side. Okay?
Are you joking? Is this serious? But it gets worse, okay? That's saying something because Klein used to happily throw the N-word around, but since October 7th, 2023,
Thank you, Vuka. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. I do. Chat, I need some confirmation. Did Ethan used to, quote-unquote, happily throw the N-word around? Did he actually do that? I have no idea. He did? Okay. Like, up until, like, probably the last couple of months, I never followed anything regarding... Oh my goodness, excuse me. Hiccups. Until, like, the last couple months ago, I really haven't followed
Cat
anything.
Temberge has roughly the same IQ as a cactus, judging from this article.
Leo, don't insult the cactus, please. Cacti are our friends. They are a very valuable asset to our ecology. Please do not insult the cacti.
Interesting date you chose there. Klein has repeatedly escalated allegations of anti-Semitism against Piker for his outspoken stance against Israel and support of Palestinians. Klein.
Facts. This is facts. Yes, Hasan Piker is an anti-Semite. This is fact. This is known. He has called for the extermination of the entire state of Israel and all of its people. That is literally anti-Semitism. He routinely calls Ethan and Helia Zionists, which is a racial slur against Israeli people and Jewish people. Yes, he is a fucking anti-Semite. It's not allegations. It is facts. Hasan has provided his own evidence to support these facts. So, Kat, stop pretending like you're a journalist and instead admit that you're just gobbling on Hasan's cock. Okay? 'Cause guess what? He's probably not gonna fuck you. You're not part of a Diddy party. He's probably not gonna fuck you. You can stop glazing his cock, okay? And Bear, thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you very much.
Klein is Jewish and has lived in Israel. Wow. You list that like it's some sort of a bad thing. Well, Piker is a Turkish American who was raised Muslim. Back up. Raised Muslim.
My ass.
Let's kind of extrapolate that, right? Am I raised white? Are people watching this video raised black? Raised Hispanic? What a weird thing to say. Look, dude, Hasan is playing the race card and the victim card hard enough. You don't have to go these extra lengths to do that. But this article is...
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she does. Because what she's trying to do is she's trying to do what Alyssa Mercante was doing. Because, chat, you remember that video we saw of Alyssa Mercante trying to do an interview with Hasan and Hasan shut her down? You guys remember that? There was the video where she walks up and she's trying to basically get an interview with him, and he says, "Oh no, sorry, I'm busy. Well, we're not going to be able to do anything." You don't remember that? Yeah, we saw it. God, it was probably a couple weeks ago, I think. There was a video where she comes up there. I can't even remember. They were at some kind of event, and she was talking about, she was saying like, I think she was saying, we'll do a sit down and interview or something. And yeah, she was basically trying to do a notice me senpai thing to get an interview. And he's like, no, it wasn't the riots. No, it wasn't the riots, Beats. This happened long before the riots. And he was like, no, we're not going to be able to do it, but maybe some other time. And she was just like, the joke was like the Bart Simpson meme of, and this is when you can see her heart breaks in half. That's what Kat Tenbarge is doing. She's doing the same fucking thing, pretending to be a journalist to try and get in with Hasan. And it's hilarious. And Alien Embryo, by the way, thank you for the follow. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Trash. We all know this. Like, journalism right now is in the gutter, and somehow this person went even lower. But anyways, that's the follow-up to what's going on here in the updates on the sterling content creator CaseyTron and her brilliant legal defense. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Bear, what's wrong is they're activists. They're activists that work off ideology instead of facts and logic. And they refuse to accept facts and logic. That's what's wrong with them. Quite simply. Quite simply.